everybody. Get the music stopped here. Okay. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Tuesday evening. Glad I got a bunch of you guys in tonight. So got a couple good things that happened this week. So one of the things, Scott and I went Friday. We drove up to Lakeland, Florida, for the Lake Mirror concourse show and regular car show, and that was a really good time. So we drove I drove the 63 Le Mans up, and he drove his 64 Corvette, and we had a good time. It was about a 3-hour drive, but very cool show. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Hey Chris, how you doing? We got I got some progress on the AC conversion on the Sprint. Got a fan shroud built and get radiator mounted and stuff. So go over that. But even bigger news is that we got the Corvette figured out. I got the Corvette figured out. For you guys that have been coming on the show for a while, I've had that car here for a bit. Came in for a sniper tune and a new ignition system because it had a HEI, and on the C3 Corvettes, the TAC is driven off the distributor, and the HEI doesn't have that, so we had to put an MSD distributor in, and had some running issues with it, and tried a bunch of different things. Found a vacuum leak in the intake. Found rocker arms not adjusted properly, but none of those things were. All of them made the car run better, but they weren't the problem with what was going on with the car. So I actually stepped back and punted a little bit. I called a friend at Holly and sent them some videos and gave them all the information I had on it, and he sent it to MSD, to the engineering department, and so we'll go over that in a little bit. I think that's the main things: Mirror Lake, the Sprint, and the Corvette. So let me show you guys some pictures from Mirror Lake. I didn't get very much of this set up yet, so a lot of these pictures I'm going to show you are from the concourse, which is all around this lake in downtown Lakeland, and then they closed down the old town center, so to speak, where all the older buildings are and stuff. There's a bunch of restaurants and boutiques and stuff like that, and all the so they closed them down for driving, and they parked all the regular show cars in the streets. So I think there was about 900 cars, not counting the concourse show. So a pretty good amount of cars, but it was a really cool venue. All parked behind all these old buildings. There's trees everywhere, and really good restaurants and stuff. And it was a really good time. It was the first time I'd been there. So let me show you some of these pictures. Now again, these are from the concourse. There's a Aston Martin, James Bond style car. Sunbeam. There's a Mustang that ran an NMCA and NMRA. Another Sunbeam hardtop, pretty cool. That's actually an Alpine. It was really cool looking little car. Some of these like this one. I don't know what it was, but pretty cool car. I think this was from here it is, 1952 Cunningham. So some of these I did get some pictures. It was the Shelby was the big headliner for this year's show, so they had a lot of Shelbys there. Some other really nice cars: GNX, GTO, another GNX. Well, that's just a GS, not a GNX. It's really clean. Gremlin X, a Super Duty Pontiac, Catalina 421. It's a really nice Grand Prix. This was an interesting car. So Shelby built cars called Series 2, and this was actually prototype that they built that it's all made out of aluminum. Now you can see the windows are blacked out and there's no headlights and stuff. So this is basically just a what they built their tooling off of, because the cars were carbon fiber. But this was all handmade aluminum, and it was like a display car. I think here's the thing. One of 3 aluminum bodies built, all hand-formed aluminum. So it was for the 25th anniversary. And here's one of the carbon fiber, one of 7 all carbon fiber built cars. So it's pretty cool. You don't see hardly any of these cars out, let alone a low build number like that. And this was just more of a regular one of the 249 that were built. And these had a Aurora 4.0 double overhead cam engines in them. So, but this was how they were typically sold. I actually worked on one of these cars one time. So Panatera, guy from Miami. Really nice looking car. And some of the GT40s. So these were really cool to see. Nice looking in the back window, seeing all them throttle bodies. Actually, those were actually carburetors. They weren't even throttle bodies. Hey, Rick, how you doing? So here's a later model, 95 GT40. But I thought, let me see if it was... I guess it was a race car at the time. But you can see there's the lake behind these Model T Fords, and a really nice venue. And up in this back section here is where all the street cars were parked. But really nice collection of stuff. They had a bunch of boats there, obviously, tying into the lake, wood Chris Craft boats. So this was kind of a panoramic view from across the lake. So there's a bunch of Mustangs in that row. And of course, there's the lake. There was some of the GT40s and stuff were in that area. So I'm going to make a full video out of this in the future. Haven't got a chance to do it yet. So yeah, so these are some of the videos I took. There's a lot to see, so I kind of zipped around quite a bit. They had a bunch of tractors there. That was pretty cool. Not too many car shows you go to, you see show tractors. Some of the boats. Oh, I missed the tractor trailers. Hang on a second, let's go back. So here's some of the big trucks that they had there. I think that was some type of Jeep, I think, recall. But here's some of the restored old school trucks, old Mack heating oil truck. Cool looking old trucks. Okay, so now we can go back to the boats. There's a tunnel haul race boat, and a bunch of like old wooden haul Chris Crafts and stuff. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there's a dude down the street.
It's just one sunk in Branson.
Hey Cole, how you doing? They took these amphibious cars and they actually went around in the lake later on in the day. I didn't actually see that part of it. We'll just show a couple more little videos here and like I said, these are all going to get edited, tightened up, and yeah, those Chris Crafts are cool, Cole. You're right; they are very cool. But yeah, I'll get this stuff adjusted and tightened up, and it'll be a regular video.
Probably.
Without the engine.
It was a really exotic and well-restored cars in this deal. Yeah, there was a lot of GT40s there for sure.
Kind of make my mind up on which way I want to go.
So that's just the Normal X. Was there a really cool car?
That was the first. Okay. That was the first 350 per year.
Bunch of Mopars.
They are. They couldn't sell them, but they are so fast.
Not knowing the difference.
Yeah, I tried to use my telephoto from across the lake, but it kind of came out shaky. I'm still going to work on how to get better film with that. Yeah, it's really shaky. It's I kind of scanned these earlier today, but didn't really get to look at them really close. Really nice place for a show. Corvettes and stuff. It was. So this is kind of, I'm not going to go through all these because we'll be here all night, but this is what they did. They closed the streets off and they parked everybody diagonally on the streets. So it was a bunch of, because it was the Shelby weekend, they had a bunch of different Cobras and GT40s up in this. This is all the everybody, ordinary, I guess, show cars. Some really nice cars here. There's another row of Cobras. So, I mean, every imaginable car you could see. But you see how it's really nice. The streets had a lot of trees, and it's a really nice place. Some really good restaurants. Eat some killer food while we were up there. Yeah, so I'll get this on a full-length video here shortly. But there's all kinds of different cars. They tried to put them in groups. There was some European stuff there. Definitely a bunch of old American muscle. So
I always wanted one of these, but I could never get one.
be all kinds of trucks.
Pickup truck is 100% original and unmodified.
Wow.
Yeah, Dave, it was a great show. We definitely got to make a big contingency and go up there next year. DeLoreans? Check out how many DeLoreans there was like 10 of them there or something. It was crazy.
You know, I wish he would change.
There's one on the end that was even fixed up like back in the future.
They also said that was a long
Screen accurate.
Tried to make it look like Doc's car. Bunch of Corvettes, of course.
Yeah. They have
Maybe Pat, welcome in. Yeah, Dave, it was funny. A lot of people didn't open their hoods. I don't know what was up with that. We had ours open. So, Corvettes.
Now I know what you mean. And well, yeah, and they go to 18. No, so we're not.
Monty, you don't see too many of those around.
I mean, it's
We didn't see that one. I think it's weird. I remember when he got the pressure. But it's
My buddy Mike's 55. That car is a Survivor. It's not been restored. That's the way. That's the way it is. That's all original GM paint and everything. Very, very well. Hey George, you get somebody for the picture. Kept car there. Yeah, some really nice stuff. There was some oddball stuff too, like that. Front-wheel drive Cutlass, really. Dave, they said there was over 800 cars, not counting the concourse. I didn't get the total amount, but when we were in line getting they make a little card for everybody's car with the little plaques that are on the street in front of the cars. And when we got Scott's cards, they were in the 840s at that point. That was at like 8 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know exactly how many they had. That little plaque down there. Some of the streets were pretty crowded. It was hard to get some video on some of them. I should have done it first thing in the morning, but I decided to go get breakfast instead. GT 500 Galaxy with a Coyote in it. I like that one with the Steelies on it.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, a bunch of different cars today. Something for everybody, for sure. This is the 4-door Malibu is pretty cool. It was a 4-door on that side. On the other side, they replaced the quarter panel, made it a 3-door. So on this side, they hung a 2-door on it, moved the post back, and made it a 3-door. So that's pretty cool. Joe's car would have showed up, and yours, Dave, your guys' cars would have been really nice cars. There's a lot of nice cars here, don't get me wrong, but you guys, I think, would have been top contenders in this place. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Suburbans they had a 3-door. That was pretty cool.
Probably after.
Yeah, really nice show. It's had a little park in the middle, and just real nice setting for a car show.
Dave had the
Got some late model stuff there. Nice Hearst old. You don't see too many of them around anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, hopefully we'll get well, mine should be running by next year. It might not be show-worthy, but it'll definitely be running. And that was a really nice Cutlass there, 442. And Yeah, maybe we can get Chuck's running by then too.
They wanted quote-unquote marketing different.
And a nice GTO. Again, you don't see a lot of GTOs around, so it was cool to see the mixture of cars that were there and a lot of stuff you don't always get to see.
That ain't happening
Yeah, I need to do some editing. Unfortunately, this was just around lunchtime. It was hard to get around. It was the streets were packed.
Figured he'd be here.
Oldsmobile. Sure, so it's kind of like my Fleet line, but it was a Oldsmobile.
behind the
I mean, back of this. Clean IROC, but check out this Falcon.
Yeah. Was it the same interior color and all that? This is exactly. Leg size. Gold on gold.
Some Corvettes.
More of the Mustang.
Yeah, I agree.
So resto mod Corvette. There's definitely a car for everybody there. These are all late model Corvettes, C5s.
Chevrolet motor, but it's not a Corvette motor. The number 20.
That little English Ford had a 6-cylinder. Look, it fit real nice in there.
From 96.
That one had a big block in it.
Ford put it in 302. Oh, really? Not now.
Boy, is that up here.
Well, anyway, it kind of gets there's Scott's car. Kind of gives you guys an idea of what was going on out there. Like I said, I'm gonna make this a regular video. These are unedited, so they're all kind of goofy. Scott's cars drove up great up there.
Well, I mean, I grew
Back
up
3 hours each way. Only used a half a gallon, half a tank of fuel each way. Really nice drive.
It's kind of a
Le Mans actually got a fan favorite award. And out of the two cars, I gotta say this thing drives phenomenal. I drove that up and I drove the Corvette back. I'd much rather ride into Le Mans. That thing is very, very comfortable car to drive on the highway.
As you rumble.
It was two of them. He was
There's the little signs that they made for every car. You gave them some information and they went ahead and made it all up. So anyways, that's a pretty good overview of what the show was like. It was a really good really good show. Yeah, Dave Scott was thrilled. Of course, you know Scott. He was all day. Where's the judges? Have you seen judges go by? What? Oh yeah. So towards middle of the day, I think we went to lunch. We came back and there was an award on sitting on the windshield. So he was pretty stoked about that. So now this car, the Le Mans, has won. Fan favorite at Lake Mirror, and he's gotten the President's Choice from Holly Corporate at LS Fest. So two pretty good awards for his car. So, but yeah, anybody in Florida, it's a really good show to be. It's the first time I've been. Scott's actually been a couple of times, and he's told me over and over again how good of a show it was. And I'm like, yeah, you go to shows every day. I don't, I agree with you, but I got to say, it was a great show, and we'll definitely be going back next year. So I know Chuck always comes on and says hi to Benji, so I thought I'd give you guys some pictures of the little guy, shop inspector that's current. He turned 5 months on Sunday, so here he is, shop inspector, getting big. He's almost 50 pounds already, so he's 46 or 47 pounds, so he's getting pretty good. So anyway, there's one standing next to Mom, so it's a little Benji update. So one of the big things that happened, so I've been working on this Corvette. You guys have probably seen this if you've been on the show before. It came in a couple, 2-3 months ago, and I haven't been working non-stop on it because I was trying to keep the bill down for the owner. He was out of town, actually out of the country. He was in Norway for the summer, so he's like, do what you can do. Don't kill me on bill and on the bill and stuff. So I've been kind of working on it back and forth over the past bit. So the car came in for a Holly Sniper tune, had a fresh 396 build or 427 build, and it didn't have a distributor with a tack drive in it, so the tack wasn't working. And I found the gas tank was full of rust. We had to replace the gas tank. Actually, he took it back to his mechanic to get the gas tank replaced, and then he brought it back to me, and then I found out that the guy replaced the gas tank but didn't do anything else. So he never replaced the fuel filter, never flushed the fuel lines, and so I ended up having to do that. Found the regulator blown out in the Sniper, had to have the injectors cleaned, put an external fuel pressure regulator on, got it running again, put an MSD distributor so it'd have tack drive, got that working, and when it got into tuning on the car, kept running into some issues with that. Hey Ryan, no problem, man. I know you've been slam busy getting that truck done, man. That thing is, every time you post more pictures on Facebook, I'm getting so stoked to see a final walk around when you get it all done and ready for SEMA. But yeah, so on the Corvette, then I had a running issue where it was popping and not running good at steady state, and so I wanted to check the camshaft, make sure it didn't eat a cam lobe, and the cam was fine. I had a flat tappet cam in there. I wanted to make sure, because a lot of times when you break a new cam in, if you don't catch it right, you can have problems there. Had the wrong rocker rocker nuts on the rocker arms, so you couldn't adjust the rockers with it with a socket in the rocker arm, so it made it really hard to get zero lash and get a good thing. So I put poly locks on it, and then still didn't. Every time I did something, it ran better, but it still didn't fix the problem I was chasing. And the last thing I had done, I showed you guys on the show, is I smoked the engine and found that it had an intake leak. So I replaced that thinking, oh, that's it. That's definitely it. Fixed that. And did run better, but still had the same issue. So at that point, I just wanted to get this car done. I'd spent way more time on it than I wanted. Way more time than I got charged for. But so I called a friend of mine at Holly and I said, listen, let me, go over everything. We've done compression, we've done leak down, we've done everything that we've done. I gave him a whole spiel of everything we've done. I replaced the 6AL box with another 6AL box. I didn't have another distributor. But I told him, I said, I wanted to check the phasing on because I found a long time ago a distributor that was when they welded the rotor stand or they mounted the reluctor, it was out of phase. So and that caused a running problem. It's been 20 plus years since I seen that, but I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and put my cap on to check that and see where the phasing is. And so here's a little video I made to send to Holly. So kind of hard to see, but there's a hole right here in the distributor cap. This is my test cap, and I got a GoPro looking straight down on it. So let me go ahead and I think it's about to run here. Okay, so this is the video I sent to Holly. And you can kind of see the white spot there. I don't have the light on it yet because I'm getting the data recorder to run, but the phasing is not very good. Actually, I think the flash, the timing light may work, but you can see let me see if I can find it where the rotors. So right here you can see here's the tower and here's where the rotor is. So the rotor is actually between two different towers in the distributor cap, and what can happen with that is the spark wants to go to the easiest ground. So you want this rotor pointing dead at your I'm on number one. That's number one. It should be pointing dead at number one. Now, of course, as it advances and retards, it's going to move around a little bit, but this is pretty. It's way off. So. Rev it up. Kind of gets better when it's at high RPM. It's funny, the timing light was lighting the whole time, but the camera wasn't picking it up very good. So it was funny. But nevertheless, it wasn't showing very good. I don't know why that timing light was so inaccurate. So anyway, I sent the video to them. They looked at it and they're like, oh, you got a misfire, because they're looking at the timing light not firing. But it's just a matter of the hertz of the filming versus, because I don't think I should have had it on 4K. I think I have it on 1040 or something like that on one of the lower settings. Actually, it may have been on 720. So depending on how fast the timing light strobe was flashing, the camera didn't pick up every one. So my buddy texted me back. He said, "Oh, the engineers didn't find anything wrong with your video. They think it's got a misfire. So there's where your problem is." So I kind of knew that wasn't. I mean, I'm listening to the engine running. I don't know if they couldn't hear the engine running in the video. It wasn't misfiring. It's just the timing light wasn't staying lit. So I decided, you know what? Let me put the higher end MSD boxes come with a shielded cable, where normally if you've ever installed a MSD 6, 6A, 6AL, whatever, they always come with a black loom with a orange or a purple and green wire twisted in it, but no shielding or anything. So here's my connection, and you can see here that purple doesn't line up and orange doesn't line up with green. So and this, that's a bad picture. Here's a picture of the box side. So Mike says, I've noticed like when filming car LED lights, yeah, pulse width, they flicker. Yes, that's exactly what it was. It was just the hertz of the video or frames per second versus the tachometer weren't in sync. So it got me thinking about that when I saw I said, oh, the purple, and so that picture you saw was actually the right way. So let me pull up this sheet here. So I took me quite a while, but I was able to eventually find MSD instructions with a breakout of all of the different trigger devices. So on your old billet distributors, they were purple and green solid colors. So they lined right up with what was on the what came with the 6A box. So anyway, I found this in an old 7AL-2 instructions. Let me move here. So first of all, here's the main instructions. So your mag plus is violet, and your mag negative is green. So on a 2-wire distributor, magnetic pickup, they call it a mag pickup. It's just a piece of metal going past a magnet, which then creates a pulse wave. It makes an AC wave. Ryan says, my fingers are so filed down, I from filing can't hold on to your sanding blocks. I bet you have been putting in the time, my friend. That thing, and it shows. That truck is awesome. Anyway, so on a magnetic trigger, it's an AC wave. The faster it goes, the more voltage it makes. It's not a very clean signal. So I thought, you know what? Let me put that shielded harness on. Maybe that'll help us out a little bit. But I went through and I found this. I found this sheet finally, and here you can see MSD crank triggered MSD current distributors. Orange black is mag plus and violet black is mag negative. So after all that was the issue with this Corvette, is the harness of the MSD's box and the harness from the new distributor. When I plugged them together, purple was connected to purple, and I assumed, which we all know what assuming does, I assumed that was correct. Now, on a AC trigger, a magnetic trigger, it doesn't care which way the wires are engaged, because it's a sine wave. So it goes positive, goes negative, with 0 down the center. So on a standard mag vehicle, typically 200-300 RPM, it's like 0.4 volts up and 0.4 volts down. And as you rev it up, when the engine's running at idle, it's usually making about 1.5 volts. And then if you rev it up, I've seen them go up into the 6,000-7,000 RPM. I've seen them go into 20, 25, 30 volts. Chris says, and bleed the brakes. I wonder if my alignment is out of sorts. Oh, I missed the first one. I got my car back. It runs good. I have 2 issues. One, the steering wheel is not centered, left to center and way off, and the car pulls to the right under hard braking. Installed new brake pads. Yeah, so you need to bleed the brakes, and the steering is easy to fix. Whichever way your wheel is turned, straighten it, and you'll see. So if your wheel's left and you straighten it, so that means when your wheel's straight, when your steering wheel's straight, your wheels are pointing right. So what you do then is you if it's a front steer, you lengthen the driver's side wheel, you shorten the passenger wheel the same amount, and then re-drive your car, and you keep doing that till it's straight. As long as you make both adjustments in the correct direction, you won't lose your toe adjustment, and you can center the steering wheel. Yeah. So anyway, I found this sheet, went out to the car. Sure enough, the wires are backwards. And what I was getting at, so when you have the power is the mag plus is the hot wire, and the mag negative is the ground wire. So with that rotation, the sine wave goes up first, then back down, crosses zero, then goes makes the loop on the bottom and goes back to zero, and then continues on. So it looks like an S. Yeah, let me get in front of the camera. Here you go. So when it's backwards, what it does is now the first signal is going down. It's a negative signal, then it goes up. And what that does is it moves the triggering device 20 degrees. I've ran into this years ago when we were putting MSD distributors like on an XL DFI system. Now, of course, the wiring colors didn't match because it was a different system, but you could see that you'd go one way and the timing would be a retarded 20 degrees. You flip it and the timing would be spot on. So I reversed the wires, and then I went ahead and put that, let me go back to those pictures. Yep. So you can see in these pictures, here's this harness, and it's got insulation on it. I think I got another picture. So yeah, here you can see it's got a ground loop coming out of it, and it's bolted to the intake. So now this wire is shielded from all the rest of the car, because any signal that's EMI or RFI that's coming out is going to be grounded out to the engine block. And I twisted the wires coming out of the distributor. I don't know why MSD doesn't do that. And then I wrapped them in foil. And lo and behold, the car is fixed. Car runs perfect. It rips now, actually. Before it was very anemic, and I was really concerned about it. But now you can just roll into the throttle, and it'll haze the tires first and second, and it's ready to be delivered. So thank God for that. Yeah. Dave says, praise Jesus. Yeah, it'll be gone Thursday night. So I'm real happy about that. And I'm happy that it's fixed. That's the main thing. I don't like having project cars that are whipping up on me. And how I didn't think of that in the past, I don't know. I got caught up with doing all these other tests, and every one of them showed an issue. So every one I thought we had gotten somewhere, but at the end of the day, this was the real problem. So being that the trigger was 20 degrees out of sync, that made the rotor phasing out of sync. So that gap that we saw in the video, where the rotor was between 2 and 1 in the firing order, once the wires were flipped, it was spot on. So that really took care of it. No, it was a plain, Mike. No, it was a plain Jane Stingray, just a 427 single 4-barrel. And being that the gas tank had all the rust and stuff in it, the guy had said he'd had 5 different carburetors on there, and they couldn't get it running right. Blah blah blah. But now the thing is, all new fuel system. The sniper wasn't wired. That was just the thing. Everything I touched on it wasn't right in the first place. So every time I touched something, I thought, oh, this is it. The sniper systems, being the ECU is mounted in the throttle body, they're very susceptible to RFI and EMI. So Holley puts right in their instructions for every fuel injection that they sell that the main power and ground need to go directly to the battery. And the reason for that is the battery becomes a ground sink. So any flyback power from like a fan relay or any kind of relays in the car, or any RFI and EMI, that should filter it out, because now everything's coming directly from the battery. And of course, in a Corvette, the battery's behind the driver's seat, so the installer decided that he wasn't going to